Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Australian China Institute for Arts and Culture at Western Sydney University. My name is Jing Han. I'm the director of this institute. Before we start, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands we're all sitting on today at various locations, and in particular, the Darug people of the Darug Nation, where the institute is located on our Parramatta campus. And pay our respect to the First Nations elders, past, present, and emerging. Australian China Institute for Arts and Culture is very pleased to partner with the Sydney Sacred Music Festival in hosting this beautiful concert. We are committed to promoting community engagement through art and culture events like this one. The Sydney Sacred Music Festival was established in 2010 by Richard Petkovich. The festival focuses on bringing culturally and linguistically diverse artists together to create new work and showcase hidden treasures in interesting spaces. This afternoon, we will have the pleasure and the privilege of experiencing and enjoying one of those music treasures brought to us by some of the leading musicians, including well-established and emerging musicians across Australia. The concert will be emceed by Dr. Nicholas Ng, who is our research fellow and ethnomusicologist. Nick is also an amazing musician and composer himself. Please welcome Dr. Nicholas Ng.
Thank you, Professor Han. And welcome everyone to our very first online festival forum concert, where the artists you're about to meet draw in a performative way on the ideas discussed in our forum earlier this month. Our theme, as you may have gathered, concerns the post-digital, a movement amongst creative minds and thinkers to re-evaluate and redefine our relationship with technology in our creative practice. So what we're going to present today is very much where we're at in this ongoing dialogue, and encapsulates individual realizations of the spiritual. My name is Nicholas Ng, as Professor Han mentioned, and I work at the Australia-China Institute for Arts and Culture here at Western Sydney University, which stands on traditional Darug Baramatigal land. I'd like to wish all my Jewish friends a very happy new year, and we also are looking forward to the Chinese Moon Festival this month. To begin our concert, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jenny Gall, from the Australian National University, who will also be accompanied by her husband, David Game, Dr. David Game. Dr. Gall is a curator at the National Film and Sound Archive. She received her PhD from the ANU School of Music and continues to research the intersections of traditional music, popular and Western art music in Australian settler society. Jenny was awarded an ACT Heritage Grant for the project Listening to the Past, Music in Canberra's Historic Places, and is a contributor to the forthcoming University of Southampton and Royal College of Music publication, Making Music Matter in House Museums. A passionate fiddler, she celebrates her musical spirituality through a strong connection with Australian folk music. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Nicholas. And I'd like to start with an acknowledgement of the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri people whose lands we're meeting on today in Canberra. And I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. The music I'll play for you today is from the Irish tradition, and of course Irish people have had a strong voice in Australian culture since the first days of white settlement. There's also a very interesting history of liaison with Indigenous people on the North Coast, where I've conducted a lot of research. There was a particular man called McQuilty who did a lot to interact with Indigenous people and learn about their culture. And that's been an interesting thread through the research I've done. The first tune I'd like to play for you is called Tomxion Clotter, and it's a vision air or an ashling. And the purpose of this tune is multi-layered. Perhaps the most common use that people would be familiar with is that it's played at funerals a lot in Ireland. And the tune has a beautiful equanimity to it. It acknowledges the passing of an old life or the old life, but it looks towards the new life, the life beyond. So the translation is, I'm asleep, do not wake me. You might be able to hear some currawongs in the background. I think they're they're enjoying the music. I'll sing a song for you, again, a short piece. This is called Tiananak, and it's about the far-off place. Again, some people interpret this as looking beyond the present life. It's a kind of a mythical and mysterious place that's magical, but also has some kind of religious significance, I think. Ismay sure and charmorally Shahashman star Nakraver and ground Nakran here no here with here sun is flowers and young was he shall not discover is to maroon more grand mistor spirit dirty nano. I sit and watch the clouds drift by and dream of my far place. I see each bird fly slowly eye and dream of my far place. I often wonder if God can see the smile upon my face. One day it's true I'll go away and live in my far place. Dear Nanak, dismay, sure, and charm or grief. Shahashman star, na graver and glom na crar, na here with here, sanis larsilyan, was he shalad scorbeer, his tomb maroon, macran restore his spirit, their cheer and I hope the birds aren't too loud. Anyway, we'll finish with a set of tunes. And I wanted to say that why traditional music is sacred for us is that it holds the memories of a lot of people that we have learned the tunes from. My husband and I have learned a lot of music from friends and tunes that have been passed down through generations. So that for us, and well for myself, is a special attraction of this music, that feeling of connection to past generations, the kind of emotions and the ways of thought that have been passed down with these tunes. And when you learn a tune, you tend to absorb some of the characteristics of the player that you learn the tune from. So there's that nice sense that you are learning something and passing it on down the generations again, perhaps. So we'll play a set of slip jigs to start off with. One is called Butterfly, the other is called Snowy Path, and we finish with a reel that we learned from a good friend of ours, Maura O'Keefe, who lives in Ireland and is one of the tutors at the Willie Clancy Summer Spring School for Irish Music. Without more ado, we'll play those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jenny and David. And thank you, Jenny, very much for bringing David along. What a wonderful duo you make. And I love the singing with the Karawongs. Who came to sing with you.
I tried to shut them up, but to no avail.
Oh no, I think that was all part of the charm, you know.
They just laughed at me.
I
Yeah,
rescued
no.
2 of them a long time ago when they fell out of their nest. Maybe they remember that.
No, it was fantastic, and I appreciate the connection with the ancestors, which is important for all of us from all sorts of different backgrounds. So thank you for touching on that too. I'd like to mention to everyone that there is a Q&A function here in this Zoominar. So if you have any comments or questions for Jenny or David after this, please feel free to send your questions to us using this function. And I'm really sorry that the chat has been disabled, so you won't be able to actually chat to anyone like that. But certainly make use of the Q&A, and we will allocate about 5 to 10 minutes to at the end of this concert to address any questions you might have for any of the performers. So moving along now to our next act, which is Clocks and Clouds, featuring Kraig, Grady, and Dr. Terumi Narashima from the University of Wollongong. Incidentally, it's Kraig's birthday today, so very happy birthday to Kraig, and thank you for joining us. Kraig and Terumi are world-renowned exponents in microtonal music inquiry. Kraig, a prominent US-Australian composer and sound artist, is director of the Embassy of Anaphoria, an ensemble of microtonal instruments of his own design. He has worked as a shadow puppeteer, a tuning theorist, a filmmaker, a world music radio DJ, and a concert promoter. Terumi is a senior lecturer at University of Wollongong. Her highly esteemed work has been presented at numerous festivals in Australia and overseas, and has been broadcast on national radio and television. Let's join the exploration of room resonances by ancient sacred scales and multidimensional geometries. Thank you, Kraig and Terumi.
Thank you, Nick. Hi. My name's Terumi and this is Kraig, and together we call our duo Clocks and Clouds. We play microtonal music on specially designed instruments. So I play a harmonium, or sometimes it's called a reed organ or a pump organ, because to get the sound out of this instrument I have to pump on pedals. And Kraig plays a vibraphone. But the difference with our instruments is that every note that we have on our instruments has been meticulously and lovingly tuned by Kraig to play notes that don't belong on your standard scale or not found on your standard instruments.
So I'd like to welcome you to the, we're actually broadcasting from the library, from the Embassy of Anaphoria, and that's Anaphoria Island on the wall in back of us. The ambassador was had a conference in the main room, so we had to move here at the last minute. These instruments look like traditional instruments with the key arrangements, but as she mentioned, each note has been retuned quite a bit, and the tuning is called meta-cylindro, and it was developed by Irv Wilson, and it was derived from a figure called Mount Meru, which is in Meru Prastara, which is an ancient Indian document that actually corresponds to Pascal's triangle, which also occurs in the Chinese also have a comparable triangle also. And so it takes one of the it takes diagonals of these numbers, and turns it into pure harmonics, and that forms a scale. And I can play a little, before I play, I'll play you why it's called meta-cylindro, which is cylindro is an Indonesian tuning, and it tends to sound a little bit like that scale in Indonesia. So you have notes that are close to each other in beats and beating, but also in this instrument, the beating is actually, everything is tuned exactly so that the beats match the other beats. And I guess that's it. So we're going to play one long extended piece that actually has like 2 sections, and it was called Calabros, and the bridge are the 2 pieces.
So this is an all acoustic performance brought to you via Zoom.
Thank you very much, Kraig and Terumi. That was amazing. I really felt that it was an acoustic performance, even though I was sitting here in front of my laptop the whole time. And even though you used microtonal tunings, I didn't find that it was dissonant at all and really connected with those frequencies. And it really gave me an understanding of what a drone could do. So if you have any questions for Kraig or Terumi, please put them in the question and answer box. And I'm sure they'll be very, very happy to speak to you after the concert or at the end of this concert. So thank you once again, Kraig and Terumi, Clocks and Clouds. Now moving on to our next duo, this seems to be a concert of couples. Another couple as a duo, Clocked Out. Clocked Out is Professor Vanessa Tomlinson and Dr. Erik Griswold from Queensland Conservatorium. And Clocked Out create and produce innovative music, interarts, and intercultural events that extend experimental traditions in engaging and thought-provoking ways. They use music as a vehicle to explore cultural issues such as environmentalism, multiculturalism, and interactions of science and music. Clocked Out includes original music for percussion and piano, a variety of artistic collaborations, concert series, tours, and festivals. Clocked Out has received 2 APRA AMCOS Art Music Awards, the Award for Excellence in Experimental Music and Outstanding Contribution by an Organisation, as well as 2 Green Room Awards. Now, times being what they are, Clocked Out are not present with us today in this Zoom meeting, but they have very kindly provided us with a video of music specially composed for this forum. And so if we could now have the video, thank you, Lindsay.
Hello, I'm Erik Griswold, and this is Vanessa Tomlinson. We're Clocked Out, and we're going to be playing 2 pieces for you. The first piece is a composition of mine called Out of Heart of Light. And this is a piece that's inspired by the poetry of T.S. Eliot, specifically his 4 quartets, which are very much concerned with spirituality. They're concerned with time, nature, and the nature of being, I think, in a way. I'd like to read a few lines of poetry from which the title, Out of Heart of Light, comes from. Dry the pool, dry concrete, brown-edged, and the pool was filled with water out of sunlight, and the lotus rose quietly, quietly. The surface glittered out of heart of light, and they were behind us, reflected in the pool. hope you can hear over the internet, or however you may be listening to the concert. Hope you can hear some of the amazing vibrations that are happening in our studio here. And for me, that is one of the main points, or the main thrust of that piece, Out of Heart of Light, is that we are trying to play around with sound waves. And we're trying to put sound waves in the air and get them interfering with each other in ways which are quite actually mysterious. And we don't actually know what outcomes we're going to get. We get the waves reinforcing each other, canceling each other, and so on. And so there's a certain kind of magic in that, I think.
I would like to pass on my thanks to Nicholas Ng for having us here today as part of this incredible concert. As Erik mentioned, we're really interested in the place in which sound happens, and perhaps we're interested in the rituals of listening itself. The next piece is a ritual that involves one of my oldest and dearest instruments, my tam-tam, and another old and dear instrument, a beautiful lit grand piano from 1885, which Erik Griswold is going to be playing. And it involves a number of techniques, including bowing the piano and the tam-tam, plucking the inside, and in fact, I don't think the piano keyboard is ever used in this particular performance. We're interested in creating spaces to listen, and in many ways I would say that this is a post-digital space that we create. We've both been very interested and invested in listening to sound over the years, enhanced of course by spectral analysis on our computers. We've learned to analyse sound and think about sound differently, and then we apply that knowledge into our instruments. Because we don't have a name for this composition, I'm simply going to call it For Nicholas.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Erik and Vanessa, wherever you are. I believe they're somewhere in the Australian bush, unable to access technology. So an interesting example of how the post-digital works in this day and age. That was the amazing clocked out duo, Erik and Vanessa from Queensland Conservatorium. Another couple capable of making objects that you hit, sing, and appear with the magic of 2D, I suppose, appearing in 2D, performing in 2D. Now, last but not least, our youngest performer here today, Ashley Chu, at the age of 17, is a classically trained pianist and composer, currently studying at Conservatorium High School. At the age of 14, he was awarded a high distinction for the licentiate diploma, Elmas, on piano, under the guidance of Natalia Andreeva. Ashley has trained under the esteemed conductor, educator Richard Gill, AO, and internationally renowned pianist Professor Liu Meng Chung from Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. He is deeply interested in electronic music and has produced both electronic and classical compositions for the past 5 years. Ashley plans to study jazz piano and composition at the University of Sydney and also abroad to further pursue his musical passions. So thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, Nick. I would just like to say, first of all, wow, I think those performances I really enjoyed. I'd like to say that they've really broadened my musical understanding and listening to, to new things that I haven't heard before. And I think it's amazing, really. So yes, yes, I really enjoyed it. So I might just quickly go over what exactly this whole setup is. I've got 2 screens currently going on. And just to check if it works. Okay, yeah. So I've got 2 screens going on here, and I've got one showing my projects, which all the electronic music and all the backing tracks will be playing through, and you get to see everything that's going on the screen. And then I have a camera right here to show me playing. So you can look at both when I'm playing, and then you can just kind of see how everything's written and everything. So yeah, okay, I'll start it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Thank you for sharing your wonderful sound world. I can see a really bright future ahead for you in the exploration
Thank you very much.
Post-digital. Thank you for joining us. We would love to hear more from Ashley, but he's actually preparing for his HSC, and so was very kind to offer this this track. So it's nice to leave us wanting more. And if anyone has any questions for Ashley, please leave them in the question and answer box if you would like. It's not too late. If, on the other hand, you would like to get in touch with any of the artists, we will provide their details for you. Simply message Lindsay Liu or myself, and you can also visit our website. And so for your information, this concert has been recorded and it will be made available online. At this stage, I would also like to say a very big thank you to Annabelle Drum from Drumroll, a wonderful presenter on 2MBS FM, who has started a wonderful initiative to support artists using an online platform. Audience members from all parts of the world can donate as much or as little as they wish for any online event. Lindsay will message you a link to Annabelle's website, where you can also make a donation if you wish. To close the concert, I would like to share an exercise with you, since this is a spirituality festival. This exercise is taken from The Secret of the Golden Flower, an 8th century Chinese alchemical text containing a teaching from ancient Persia. The ancient Persians, of course, of the pre-Islamic Central Asian region, greatly inspired pre-modern Chinese and were also responsible for the introduction of Buddhism to the Great Middle Kingdom. So in this interfaith and intercultural exercise, I will play a tune based on an ancient medieval mode from my religion, which you will hopefully hear through your speakers. Before I begin, and if you would like to, I will give you a drone note. And even though you are muted, feel free to sing this drone for me as I play. The drone, of course, is very prominent in all cultures of the world. You'll hear it on the didgeridoo, a long extended note. You heard the drones in Kraig and Terumi's piece. You can hear drones in bagpipe music and in the tampura of South Indian and Northern Indian styles of music too. The tune I will play is in fact a sacred chant for those who have passed and left the physical world. So I would like to offer this piece to the victims of the world pandemic, and also to my own uncle, who is probably not going to make the next few days. As the music begins, please imagine yourself at your workstation or at your computer in a golden bubble of light. And as you sing the drone, or as you hear the music, imagine the bubble expanding and becoming activated through your vibrations. And as the bubbles expand, imagine other listeners also with expanding golden bubbles, so that eventually we are all meeting in cyberspace in a collective pool of radiant light. This is one manifestation of the secret of the golden flower. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this exercise, and please take all feelings of goodwill with you. We hope this music from today's concert has had a positive effect on your daily life. Please please join me in thanking Professor Han, Professor Lear, Lindsay Lear, Richard Pekovich from the festival, and all the artists, Dr. Jenny Gall, Kraig Grady, Dr. Terumi Narashima, Professor Tomlinson, and Dr. Erik Griswold from Queensland Conservatorium, and Ashley Chu as well from Conservatorium High School. This concert was recorded and will be published online via our website and YouTube, so please visit the ACIAC website. And thank you very much to the audience. I see many family, friends, and colleagues here. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. My name is Nicholas Ng. Please visit the ACIAC website and also stay tuned for next year's Sydney Sacred Music Festival, produced by Sacred Currents. Thank you.